Alright, so I just watched the official teaser trailer, although I thought the previous one was the teaser trailer anyway, but for Chicken Run 2. And yeah, it's got me a little bit worried about. I was already worried about it to begin with. I mean, next to no one from the original is involved with this one, and you can kind of tell. I will say right off the bat though, this is unsurprisingly, the animation does look great. It does look great. So, yeah, no worries on that front though. That was the one thing I wasn't worried about. But for one, Ginger's new voice, yeah, it's a very stark contrast to the original. And I don't know why they didn't get the original voice back. Like, Mel Gibson, I can to a point I can understand, he's had a few controversies and things over the years, so maybe that was the reason why, but and also possibly expenses and that as well, but why didn't we have the original voice for Ginger back? I don't know why. It's not like they're making a big deal about the new voice either. So yeah, we didn't really get to hear Rocky much in it, so I couldn't really tell, but yeah, it's just a really stark contrast between the two of them instantly. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. My mind may change when I do actually see the film and that itself. And yeah, this is basically reverse of the first film. Rather than breaking in, rather than breaking out of a chicken coop, they're breaking into one. So yeah, it's basically a reverse of the first film. We don't know the full details and that of it yet, but I was interested to see what the full plot on that is of the film, and that seems to be why it is, and it's all souped up with technology and robots. But then the trailer ended, and we got to see the main villain, who, spoiler alert, I mean it's in the teaser anyway, it's Mrs. Tweedy again. No Mr. Tweedy, no Mr. Tweedy, though I hope he does show up. But yeah, I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about this. I mean, it is nice to see Mrs. Tweedy again, and I believe they brought back the original voice in that as well. So there's that. But then there's also the case of, say, the case of will they ruin her in that in a second outing, because Aardman don't really, they haven't really reused any of their villains before, any of their rogues, I should say, in any of their films, at least. In their TV shows, like the Shaun the Sheep TV show, then the antagonists obviously do get reused because they've got more limited resources, and that makes a much smaller show. But in their films, or even short films, no. Like, for example, one of the most famous villains in Wallace and Gromit is obviously Felix McGraw. So he's never made a return, never ever made a return, unless you look at the expanded media, like the video games and also the stage show. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still concerned about this, and it's just like one of those things where it's like this feels very much like a. I don't know if cash grab is the right word, but it does feel like Aardman. The only choice Aardman has for making films now is to basically make sequels to their previous films, because the problem with Aardman films is they're expensive to make, and also their profit margins are much smaller, and that as well, because not as many people go to see them, unfortunately, because since they are so British, and also they're stop motion and that as well, that's a lot of turn-offs and that, and they kind of slip under the radar on that a lot more. Hopefully, with it being Netflix, hopefully, more people will actually see it. Comes out, I think, December 15th, if I remember rightly. So, here's hoping. Here's hoping. I'm still optimistic about it, and I'm still hoping. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a train wreck or anything like that, but, I've got a feeling it might be disappointing. But I hope it isn't.